Good afternoon, everyone. Grant Cohn here, along with Sybilla Bagzaza. This is the 49ers Stock Report, and we are your financial advisors. We are going to go through about 11 players and discuss whether you should get yourself emotionally invested in the future of this player, whether their stock is up, whether their stock is down. Starting with a rookie, Diamador Lenoir. What have you seen from Lenoir? Is his stock up or down?
So Lenoir, his stock is up. I think it goes up a long ways. I really liked the kind of sticky man style coverage he was playing in the zone. When he was covering 84 in the first half, that he was positioned perfectly. He gets his arm in there. It was just textbook. So I love what he did. And that forced, by the way, that was on 3rd and 5. That forced the fourth down. So drive stall, all because of him. Great route.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like he is the better of the rookie corners. And it looks like if he can play the way he's played in preseason so far, he might be a really good backup who could start a few games if necessary, which we think is probably going to be necessary given the health history of the starting two corners, Mosley and Verrett.
I was about to say, he is the backup to Mosley, guaranteed. He should also be the backup to K1.
Yes. Oh, I like that too. See, the thing is, I haven't seen them cross-train Lenoir. And I think there's two schools of thought with a rookie. One is throw him in the deep end and see what he can do, or give him one thing, put one thing on his plate, let him master that, and then expand his role year two. It seems like the Niners are going with that one, as opposed to him being, mediocre or bad at a bunch of things, good at one. So I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I don't know if he is the backup nickel right now. There may be someone else. We're going to get to him a little later. But this guy's stock is definitely up. He could be a starter by the end of the season, a starter by next year.
Yeah, I like what he's doing. He's really good crossing over the middle. He can stick with the receivers better than a lot of these other backups on the team, if not all of them. He's right on their back, and he doesn't do it in a way where it's a bump style coverage. He's just glued to them the whole time, and it's not interference. And he had his head turned around on every single throw. It's like someone corrected that for him.
Right. Yeah. You know who else is a lot like that? Like what you just described? Verrett.
Yes, he's right on the back of the receiver, head turned, and they don't bite. Neither one of them is biting on the receiver. Because as a receiver, you can turn your head, and the corner thinks the ball is on the way. Good corners don't bite on that, though. Yeah. They wait, and that's what made Randy Moss, my good friend Kwanzaa Barnes, he's a football coach. He brought this up with me. Randy Moss was so good at timing things with his hands so he could reel really quickly.
Right. And not just show it. Yeah.
Right. Because as a back, if a guy starts doing this and looks up like this, that's when you start getting wide-eyed, and that's when you start getting your hand and your head turned around. So Lenoir is really good at not biting on that kind of thing. Verrett's a master.
Yeah. Lenoir, from what I understand, has intercepted a pass, broken up a pass, gotten targeted 6 times, given up 0 completions. That's a good start. It doesn't mean that he'll be a great starter in the NFL, but so far, hell of a preseason player, hell of a backup, good 5th-round pick for sure. Stock up.
84 was also a lot bigger than him from what I was seeing on the field, so that he stuck with that guy over the middle. Maybe it was a tight end. I don't remember.
Yeah, for a 5'10 cornerback, he seems to play a little bit bigger than that. I like Lenoir so far.
So stock up.
The other rookie cornerback, Ambry Thomas, stock up or down?
Stock way down.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you remember when I was looking at him coming out of the draft, and I had a good conversation with a Michigan fan who kind of disagreed on this. He said, no, he's really good deep. No, he's not. I said it at the beginning that he gets burned deep. Yeah. And it's deceptive because he is so strong and he's so good at the line of scrimmage, it looks like. But remember what I said about Lenoir? He was not biting on the eyes of the receiver. He was waiting for the whole body language to kick in to make that reception. Thomas had perfect coverage on that deep pass over his head. Mm-hmm. The receiver turned his head, honestly, too soon, I feel. He turned it over his shoulder, and immediately Thomas turns around almost wild-eyed, looking lost, and he had his head way turned over, and if you notice, it slowed his route down, and that's when the separation began to be. He's going to have to work on his timing. The silver lining, he had his head turned this time.
Yeah.
But
the guy who was the same way, in my opinion, who would be in phase, I think, like stride for stride with a guy until he turned around, and then he would just lose him, Chris Culliver.
Yeah, the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah.
Chris Culliver. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's the vibe I'm getting from Ambry Thomas now. He does have the long... Because Chris Culliver was built perfectly, too. 6 feet tall,
yeah, he was strong
pounds,
as well.
Strong, 4.3 runner. It's just that when it was time to find the ball, it was like he was lost. And not only that, from Thomas, he commits penalties.
So it doesn't matter what your natural ability is. Secondary players, we are all going to commit penalties when we are behind.
Yeah.
Because the option is to let him go, and we're just not going to do that. It's instinct. You know, fear factor kind of comes into play, and you start grabbing because you're not in position. So Thomas is out of position a lot of the time, and it is concerning. But you know, he wasn't supposed to start this year. But his stock is down. Lenoir is leapfrogging him, no problem.
Yeah, Lenoir looks like the guy who should have been drafted in round 3, and Thomas the one who should have been drafted in round 5. It was the other way around because Thomas is taller, he has longer arms, he's faster. It just looks like Lenoir's better at football, which is always important. The guy who plays football better. I don't know about Thomas. You know, he didn't play last year. Maybe he's just rusty. But kind of reminding me a little bit of, and this guy's actually pretty good, but Shaq Griffin. The way I always thought of Shaq Griffin when he would come to the Niners is, yeah, he's a good athlete, but you know he's going to commit one pass interference a game. At least one a game. Oh, yeah, now he's with Jacksonville, I think. And he's a pretty good player. He's gotten a lot of money. Ambry Thomas isn't that good yet. But even at his best, you no, he's going to get a PI call in this game. That's the way he plays. So.
Yeah, or he's going to be out of position and give up bomb plays. Real quick, to take some time from Thomas, we didn't talk about him from the beginning, but I wanted to talk about Clinton Dix real quick.
Sure.
Number 49, I think, is the jersey number he's wearing now.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of things from him that were horrible. The stick pass to the end zone where he rolls out and the D-line pressure is really good. Marcel Harris comes down with a linebacker and a D lineman, and he completely seals the edge. Clinton Dix is covering the back of the end zone receiver, and for some reason he comes flying downhill to add his touch to this sack, and he completely abandons his assignment. The quarterback just dunks it right over his head.
Touchdown.
Terrible. And here's the thing. Clinton Dix, I think, was trying too hard to be the savior and drill the quarterback. But, dude, know your lane and stay in it. He's too experienced and too good for this. I'm going to write that one off.
He's freelancing, playing hero ball when he needs to, play his position.
Yeah, that was 100% his fault, that touchdown. And Lenoir picked it up. He saw what was going to happen, and he was probably 3 yards away when the guy caught the ball. He actually came off his assignment as soon as he saw it. So, also, he was beat when B.W. Webb was called for a pass interference into the end zone. That should have been a touchdown. It was a bad pass by Stick.
So stock down, Clinton Dix?
Absolutely. But these are mental errors, and it's one of those things where you can correct them. It was not his abilities. It was his judgments. So his stock is a little bit down.
This is a guy who got cut by the Cowboys last year. Maybe it's because of things like this. We shouldn't just assume that he's going to make this team.
Right. And so his stock is definitely down. But we'll go past him now.
Okay, let's stick with the safety, though. Talanoa Hufanga, stock up or stock down?
I'm going to have to say his stock went up a little bit in this game, and I think some of that was the scheming and the play design. So the thing that really stood out to me is second half when he stuffed the run. He didn't stuff it. He got a tackle for a loss, and he hit the hole so hard and came flying through untouched, basically. Yeah, I mean, they just had nothing for him, and that's what Hufanga, that's what we said. We're not expecting him to be the new Tart replacement. He's not supposed to be the greatest man coverage guy, but he is a very hybrid style box defender.
Yes.
So I really like what I saw from him. He didn't take any bad angles really in this game. And I know some people did not make a big deal of that in the previous game, but I will. Because angles is how you make up for your lack of speed. He has a lack of speed compared to some people that he will face in the NFL. So the fact that he was able to just really stay in his zone this time and follow his directions, really was impressed with the way he played.
Yeah, I think he's terrific around the line of scrimmage. He's going to make probably more plays than Jaquiski Tartt would and has. He's going to get in the backfield more. He may force more turnovers. The question is, though, when he plays free safety on third down, because on third down, the Niners like to have Jimmy Ward in man-to-man coverage. He's the strong safety when they're not running. And the strong safety has to play middle of the field and cover a lot of ground, whether it's zone or usually it's man, and they're blitzing, and it's single high. He's very instinctual, and he can get to the right spot by reading the quarterback's eyes quickly. But if he gets fooled, he's going to give up big plays because, as you said, those angles in the middle of the field are the difference between tackles and touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you were to play something like cover 2 or something like that, and your objective as the perimeter corners is to seal the guy to the inside. Because if you can seal him to the outside, you can drop forward in your coverage and take care of people in front of you. And it's like a China call. It's up to the safety at that point to drop down, and he should be backpedaling the whole time. See, Hufanga does not yet demonstrate the complete mastery of something like a cover 2 system. That's not where I would put him. He would be good in zone, but as far as getting beaten over the top, like you said, angles and his instincts. He sees something, and if he thinks he sees it correctly, he attacks it with everything he has. It might be because he's not so fast. I'm not sure, but he's something that I think he can polish that the older he gets in the NFL. But for right now, I think where they're using him around the line of scrimmage is the right thing.
I like him a lot. I think speed at free safety is a little overrated.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's helpful, but what's most important is your ability to read the play and break early and correctly. And if you remember back in the 90s, that's what Merton Hanks did. Merton Hanks was super fast. Yeah, yep. He wasn't super fast. He didn't run a 4.4, but he
was he not converted?
Yeah, he was a corner. He converted to free safety. He probably ran a 4.6, 4.5, and he would have like 5-6 interceptions a year because he was so good at reading plays. And I think Funga might be like that. I just want to say, like, I've seen him make more plays on the ball playing that position in camp than I've ever seen from Jimmy Ward. And Jimmy Ward's a hell of a player who's faster than him. That just shows you it's a lot about instincts or whatever you want to call it.
And aggression. I mean, the fact of the matter is you have to be smart, but you have to be aggressive as a safety. You can't just always stay in your zone. You can't stay in your lane. You're going to have to do things as a safety where your coach kind of goes, oh, okay, it worked. Basically, you need to take risks sometime as a safety. But I think it's something he will learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Stock up for Talanoa, the rookie, another 5th-round pick. Jared Mayden, the safety who had the would-be pick 6 that was called back because of someone's penalty on the return.
I think it was an illegal block.
Yeah, the interception counted, though. What do you think? Stock up, stock down? Obviously, stock up. But
yeah, I mean, you have to give him a stock up.
Will he make the team?
Okay, that's another question.
Yeah.
I'm only because of injuries.
Yeah.
And only because so far Clinton Dix has not seized his opportunity. So and maybe because it depends on where they put him, because he's pretty versatile, obviously. But
yes,
that is very attractive. In baseball, we would call that a utility player, basically a good platoon player or something like that. He's
definitely a utility player for sure. Special teams, safety, and nickel too is what I wanted to allude to earlier. This guy got reps at nickel, not Lenoir. So I don't know if they like him there, but they've given him reps 2 years in a row. Go ahead.
That's a good point. I forgot that he got those reps last year. That's a good point. And it means that they are at least, I think what they are doing the most is trying to say, we kind of like him. How much can he do for us? Let's see what he can do. And I think that's where the 49ers are. Yeah.
Right. He's a backup, but if you could do a lot of things, and special teams, it would give you a place on the team, which he hasn't really had yet.
Right. And because of injuries, I say he's on the outside of the bubble, but he's strongly there.
I think he might make it. Here's the way I look at it. The 3 who will make it at safety are Ward, Wilson, Hufanga. Not sure what's going on with Tart. He may start the season on PUP. I don't know if he has to be on the initial 53. But once they put him on PUP, he might be the number 4 Mayden. I'm saying here might be the number 4 safety on this team right now. Especially,
we have to take care of that turf though. That is such a preventable injury as well.
I'm just saying, if it comes down to Haha or Mayden, one's a lot younger, one hasn't gotten cut by the Cowboys. I don't know. It'd be interesting what the Niners do if it comes down to those two for the number 4 safety spot.
Clinton Dix does not play any other positions particularly, does he?
No, he doesn't play nickel the way that Mayden does. He's probably not.
Well, we have him getting beaten to the end zone in what I consider to be probably his full-time debut, and then we also have him completely abandoning his assignment, which caught the touchdown. So that does not look good. And I think somebody like Wilson might be a little bit more stick to their assignment, and that's really what I saw. Nothing that really flashed, because the interception was pure zone interception. He was just where he was supposed to be, and he drifted right into the underthrow. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. That throw was a terrible throw, just saying, because he missed his receiver big time. Yeah. If that ball had hit the receiver, it would have been caught around his waist.
Okay, Marcel Harris, stock up or stock down?
Stock up, specifically because of his box work and the fact that he's playing as a linebacker. I think, boy, he hits hard. I love the way he hits. So he's very aggressive. I like what I saw from him yesterday. When I say his stock is up, it can go down after that performance I feel yesterday, but at the same time, I'm still trying to figure out where they're going to put him on the team, because they're going to have to bump one of the other linebackers to keep him. And they're not
going to keep 6 linebackers, which I don't know if they would.
If they do that, then will they take it from the O-line or something? They will take the 7th?
Well, they could keep only 2 quarterbacks instead of 3. Something like that. I don't know if they've never kept 6 linebackers though. And right now it looks like Al-Shaair, Flanagan, Foles, Jonas Griffith all could make it.
I want Griffith to make it. I absolutely do.
Yeah, I like Griffith. He should make it. And it seems like they've put in a lot of work and effort with Flanagan, Foles, and Al-Shaair. Harris, I don't know what they'll do with him. They may keep him as like a super utility player and call him, I don't know, whatever you want to call him, a linebacker or safety, who knows.
Certain packages I think he's really well suited for. They may blitz him. He like I said, he actually is playing very similar to Hufanga right now as far as what he's capable of.
They're very similar players, and they're both good on special teams. It seems like you'd want to have both.
But I think that's why some of the fans were asking if we were going to convert Hufanga. I don't think we should, but you can still use them in the kind of blitzing packages and playing them around the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely. All right, let's go offense. Richie James Jr.
Stock up, I would have to say. He had a better game, a little bit more flash on the return, that sort of thing, which if he wants to make this team, he's going to have to show some flash on the return game because it's like one of those extra things. It's like Steve Smith Sr. That's kind of how he kept himself in the game, was because he was also willing to play special teams, because he has special teams value. He was undersized. Richie James is not a big guy. He's going to have to get on specifically on athleticism and his ability to stretch the field, to play in the slot. Basically, he has to do all the little things right. There's a lot of pressure on a wide receiver like that because naturally, I don't think he's particularly a standout.
Right.
But he had a good game. So I would give his stock a little bit of a tick up, but I still want to see him Simba. I want to see him in the return game again. But yesterday or on Sunday, I should say, that was his game as far as special teams to show what he could do.
Do you think he'll make the team?
No.
I don't think he will either. And,
practice squad, perhaps?
See, that's what was my next question. If the Niners cut him, do you think another team would pick him up?
Yes, I would.
Success in regular season games, so maybe.
To be honest with you, Green Bay should pick him up.
Ooh, yeah.
Or because Aaron Rodgers, if he had a good security blanket underneath like Richie James, who could stretch the field after he catches the ball, which James can do.
Yeah.
And Rodgers doesn't. Rodgers throws things in stride, unlike Jimmy.
See, that's what I think. The only thing that could give the Niners pause is they know someone's going to pick him up, even though hasn't played particularly well in camp. Probably isn't one of their 53 best players. Another good team is going to want him. So
I don't think the Seahawks slot group is very good. So I personally think that's an upgrade to anything they have.
All right. Travis Benjamin.
So his stock is definitely up. I have not been high on him. Neither one of us has been, I don't think. But, he's not done a whole lot. But I think it clicked. I finally got to see why he's on this team, why he's being given an opportunity. Because of what he can do as a potential speed demon going over the middle. That in-stride pass that he got from Trey Lance, which was a beautiful pass, that's what happens when you put it out there in front with a guy who has speed like that. There's nothing that can be done. If he has an angle, he's gone. There's no coverage against that angle. You're just going to be running stride for stride with him, and eventually he'll beat you to the outside, kind of what he did, only it was more over the middle. That's what he's for. He can be like a slot receiver with massive speed. So
that was a hell of a catch on the touchdown.
It really was. And there's where the zip from Trey Lance is not always a bad thing. These guys have to learn how to catch the zip. Guys like Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, they could catch zip.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need touch, but zip, when it's here and it's dropped, is a drop pass. The problem for Lance, which was his problem in college, and it has been his problem here, is when he throws zip up high, it's not a drop, it's a deflection. Yeah. And deflections, more often than not, in the NFL land in someone's arms. Yeah. So I think for Lance, we don't have to worry too much, because I think for him, it's about bringing the ball down. We got to see Benjamin show exactly what I think he was supposed to do and what Kyle Shanahan loves from Trey Lance, because that was not a Jimmy Garoppolo throw.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to – well, do you think to make the team?
Barring I suppose if he had like an injury in front of him. See, here's the thing. I don't know if I take him over Richie James. I think Richie James has more immediate resume. Basically, he has more yards to his name recently than Benjamin. So I think from a statistics point of view, I think you have to take Richie James over him. That's the thing. But I can see the lethality of Benjamin. If he catches the ball and his head's in the game, of him going over the middle. And I just think with Debo and Ayuk on the outside and Kittle, Benjamin, if he decides he wants to play well, he would be unstoppable.
I'd rather have Benjamin than Richie James. Just
And
because
here's
of
why
what
I
they've
think-
done in the last couple of months.
And here's why I think you might say that. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's because of the fact that Richie James, the tools he brings to the game, don't blow you out of the water. He's getting his yards specifically because it was a good play. He has a lot of effort. Benjamin gives Shanahan another weapon, that speed over the middle that you will have to respect. And if you are playing cover 2, that will lose Kittle.
Yeah, absolutely. So I stock up for Benjamin. They've been giving him a lot of opportunities. He didn't play well early in camp, but he's been making plays. He had the nice touchdown catch. He had a deep touchdown catch against the Chargers in the joint practices. So yeah, he might make this team as the 6th guy and just beat out a younger Richie James Jr., which is impressive.
So over Richie James, I want to relate this to Kittle as a safety. So let's just take a cover 2 scheme, for example, all right? And let's say Kittle is in there. If there's someone like Benjamin is going to go up, and as he posts or something like that, they have to make a decision, but depending upon where they box him, left or right, basically, then the weak side linebacker perhaps will have to make a decision whether he's dropping or whether he's letting the safety come down and take care of that assignment. So the linebacker has to basically box him in a particular direction to stay with him. Not going to happen. So most likely he's going to play his zone and let the safety come over the top. And as a result, the safety has to backpedal to respect the speed of Benjamin. And as a result, that loosens things up underneath for one-on-one situations with someone like George Kittle.
Okay, Jalen Hurd.
Stock, non sequitur.
Yeah, seriously.
I hate saying it, but it's
couldn't be
true.
any lower. Do you think he'll make this team?
Emotionally, I could see Shanahan keeping him, but at this point, then you're going to let someone go like Benjamin, correct? You'd have to ask someone like that. Benjamin showed, hey, I'm here and I can play. And as they always say, the best ability is availability, and Hurd does not have that. I don't see how he clears waivers though if they cut him.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take him as another team if I'm as a reclamation project.
Right, it's easy.
So-
All of a sudden, he's cheaper. You don't. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing. That's what will stop the Niners potentially from cutting him, is because they know what will happen. And wow, that would bite us if he went and had a career somewhere else. But at the same time, we're trying to win now, and I think Lance needs a speed demon underneath. And so as a result, I think there's a 70% chance they cut him.
Yeah, I agree. The thing that always happens with Hurd is like the noise gets louder and louder. Like, hey, you're not going to make it, and then he shows up for one day and plays decently, and then shuts himself down for 3 weeks. So
I would be sitting here
against the Raiders.
I would be sitting here like, oh, we should keep him because we saw a couple of good passes. He gets the hype going very easily, but at this point, we're keeping him for the would be, the what if, the could be, that sort of thing, and that's just not really working right now.
Trent Sherfield.
Stock up, absolutely. He did it again.
Yeah.
He got loose on the outside. It was a good route. Lance likes him. I think for that alone, you have to put him there. And I just think he's a really solid number 3 receiver. It's like, where did he come from? Why did he start so late? Like what inspired him to get this good all of a sudden? But I think he's intelligent. I think he runs his routes well. I think he's really good against zone coverage. I think his size gives him a little bit of anti-man coverage as well. Like he's got a little bit of oomph when he runs his routes. So I like him. He's not something we have a clear cut. Like how big is he? How many pounds is he?
He's probably about 200. Let me look real quick.
That's a good enough big body to receiver. I like that. But yeah, I would say he makes the team, and I think he makes the team potentially as the number 3 receiver.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Oh wait, hold on. Wait.
I think he might be bigger.
6'1", 220. Are you kidding me? Wow. Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, he's in terrific shape. He's very strong. They're calling him 6'1", 219.
Exactly.
Jeez. I'm 6'1",
I like him.
I'm 6'1", 186. I'm working on it. One day I'll be on Trent Sherfield's level. I'm coming for you, Trent.
Love it.
No, I think he's a number 3 receiver. I think he's better than Sanu. There are certain things Sanu can do well, like the quick out route from the slot or the dig from the slot. Just like
which he demonstrated. Yes.
Yes. But I think Sherfield can do those things too. Plus he gives you the downfield element. He can play outside. He's really good. I like him.
And here's the thing. I think that Trey Lance's ability to move in the pocket, again, that's going to freeze your linebackers. And once in a while, your safeties will not be backpedaling as fast as they should be. That's something for all you young safeties out there. Backpedal. You can't backpedal enough. Stay in your assignment in your coverages. But the thing is, when you see something like that, just like HaHa Clinton Dix, eventually you're going to bite on it. And when they do, someone like Sherfield is going to get open downfield over the top. And next thing you know, you're stride for stride with them. And that's a bad place to be. Because of his size, one-on-one against the safety, that's going to give him an advantage.
Okay, Trey Lance.
Stock up. Absolutely. It seemed a little bit apocalyptic at the beginning. As far as like Jimmy came out and did what Jimmy or all the Jimmy haters say he does, and that's that he threw. That ball should have been intercepted. I don't think that ball should have been caught. I'm just saying that because he was above and behind. Okay, occasionally a superstar receiver will make that catch. That was a bad throw by Jimmy. Trey Lance, he came out and did something very similar to that. He misses high sometimes. It's just what he does. But it's something I think he can work on. So I think that he showed grit. He's not going against – there was no Bosa on the field against him. So I don't want to read into his bounce back too much. But I think, again, game time experience, I think his stock goes up. We saw him run. We saw him get the 2-point conversion, although that was called back. I really liked what he did on Sunday.
Yeah, I think his stock is up, but I think it's not as up as they'd like it to be. I think they want him to show a little bit more before they make him the starter, and there is one preseason game left. I would say that his stock isn't as up as high as Zach Wilson's is, Justin Fields is, Mac Jones is. Although it's just preseason, it's hard to judge stock, especially from quarterbacks this early. But I do think his stock raised from week 1 to week 2. He kind of did worse as the first game went along. And in this game, he did better as the game went along.
Right, exactly.
His
That's
2
what I meant about
touchdown
the
catches
grit.
were terrific. Throws were terrific. How does my audio sound, by the way? Was it too quiet before? Sorry.
It sounds a little better now, a little bit more clear.
Okay, cool. It was all right.
There's a little story I want to tell about Lance and his relationship with Shanahan, if I may. During the draft, Justin Fields' pro day, on the plane back, John Lynch was being asked about quarterbacks and everything like that. I got this from Peter Schrager, by the way. And Schrager said that he actually was doodling on like a notepad plays for Trey Lance, Kyle Shanahan. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
On his way back from... Okay, so that whatever was on that pad, we haven't seen yet. Right. And I just, like my expectations of Lance are high. My hopes are even higher. But I am sobered a little bit by the fact this is preseason. And there's no sense in just showing everything at the playbook. We don't even know what Kyle Shanahan has for him. I think that Shanahan did actually change the game plan as far as like he let him run. He let him move in the pocket and things. Mm-hmm. Trey Lance, he should have been strip sacked. That was a little bit boneheaded of him. But that's okay. I mean, he survived that, whatever. But I think the fact of the matter is Shanahan adapted this to let him. I mean, he took 2 sacks, I think?
Yes.
That's not so bad considering he's a mobile quarterback. They're going to attack him. He's not behind the best O-line. But I think that Lance has yet to be unleashed. So I think that what we're seeing in the preseason is him practicing a little bit of the fundamentals within a basic vanilla offensive system. And I just don't think there's anything to worry about at this point. I don't think we've actually seen. I don't think we can judge him completely yet. I think we are just seeing the basic mechanics, and he has some flaws. He absolutely does. He continues to throw high. And I think that's what you mean. His stock is not as high as it should be.
Yeah.
Is that those mechanics are still there.
Yeah. And he's throwing short passes too hard. But I think what's interesting.
I don't like his lack of touch.
Yeah, I don't like that either. And he needs to improve on that. And he threw a couple of passes with touch. The one to Sherfield, the one to James rolling left. Yes, I would say yes, he is. But I think what's happening with right now in the preseason is Shanahan, he even said it, like, I'm not grading him. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to give him a crash course on pocket passing because this guy, he didn't say it, but this guy might start week 1 or week 2. And he needs to get ready, and we don't have much time left. And so I need him to get as many reps in the pocket as possible before we get to the regular season and unleash all the other stuff that he's great at. This is what he's not great at. And the only way he can get better is this, little boot camp atmosphere right now.
And I'm really happy that Shanahan let him use his legs. You're not televising what he can do. You're not opening up the playbook and letting people take notes by just letting him get away from harm. So this game was a whole lot better as a fan. Just to see that Lance was able to move. So good on Shanahan for that. I know we're always picking on Shanahan and nitpicking him and dissecting him. This was one thing I think he did excellently.
Yeah. A Bay Area Baller 18 says, I have a solution to Trey missing high. Aim lower. Yeah, I like that. I'll tell him. Kyron says, Grant, I love the combo of you and Sybilla. Keep up the great work. Wonderful show. Yeah, it's a good combo.
Thank you so much, Karen.
Appreciate it. Steve Young, thank you for watching. Big fan of your work.
Me too.
Yeah, what kind of receiver is Dwelly? Do you have him run one-on-one routes or line him up in the slot? Keep up the good work. He's an excellent route runner. He's not extremely fast, but he can run all the routes a tight end needs to run, and gets separation. So I don't know. There's a lot.
In other words, the answer is yes to both of those. Yeah. I do like him one-on-one in the red zone because of his size and just the kind of pass you're going to do is you're going to put the ball right on his hands, and it's going to be an Anquan Bolden style catch as far as he's just going to rip the ball down. And it's similar. He's going to box the defender out. He's going to put his hands right about here, which is where Trey Lance has not to miss high and not to zip it too hard. Just kind of like throw it in there, put it right in the basket. That's what Dwelly is good at. So I like him one-on-one in the red zone, but before the red zone, he can run any route that is required.
Agree. All right, last person, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, so that's a hard one. I would have to say his stock is down. Mm-hmm. I do not mean he will not be the starter, but his stock is down because he did exactly what Jimmy Garoppolo does, and that is that he missed high there, and I'm not going to even talk about the interception. We all saw that. I don't want to be the dead horse proverbially, but one of the other things he was doing is he was freezing his receivers. So there were other throws. Was that to Charlie Warner where it was for third down? It was third down and short, and they got the conversion, but he had to go like way up there to get it.
Yes.
Do you remember that pass? Right. Yeah. And right then
he
and there,
had to jump. It was a 5-yard pass.
Oh my goodness! If I was a safety, I would have lowered my pads if I had the opportunity and drilled him right in his thoracic.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yes.
And that's the best shot you can get on a tight end or receiver. Completely outstretched and just drill them. He was lucky to come down with that without major problems. But the point is, Jimmy does that to his guys. The interception over the middle, he did it again to his guy, which somehow, by the way, that was an amazing tackle after the interception. Like midair. That was acrobatic.
Yeah.
But so for me, there was no improvement from Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's the thing. And it's like, you're 29, you've been on the team, this is your 5th season here. They gave you all the reps with the starters. They didn't call it a quarterback competition. They let you demonstrate, demonstrate your worth. They let you make mistakes and learn from them, but you didn't. You just kept making the same mistakes. And now I think like 3 weeks into camp, the Niners are like, well, that was a mistake. Thanks a lot for that. Now we have to go with Trey Lance and see what we can get from him when he's really not 100% ready.
And I think Kyle Shanahan has displayed a little bit of leadership. I know we are always coming down on him for that, but the fact of the matter is he kind of stood behind Jimmy. He did not want to baby him or anything like that, but he gave him a little bit of confidence.
Right.
And now he's kind of in the boat where good leadership also means not doing the same thing over and over, failing, and expecting a different result. Now he's going to have to be organic in his approach and be like, well, this is what I have to work with. And what I have to work with is zero. He's not climbing, Jimmy. And it's just his vision is he doesn't see anything in front of his receivers. He sees where his receiver is, and that's where he puts the ball. So if you keep running your route, it's going to end up behind you. So these guys are having to slow down, come to a dead halt, or virtually a dead stop. Did not like that.
Yes. Marcus says, I agree with you guys, but I feel like building Trey's confidence is more important than building his skill right now. It's an interesting balance, and it's what I've been saying. Like, instead of having him stay in the pocket and throw 90 to 95% of his throws from the tackle box, which is not his strength, I understand there's value in repping it now since it's his weakness. But you also want to build confidence, and you can do that so easily with like the throw they had where you play action, roll left, dump off to Richie James Jr. Those are the layups that definitely build a kid's confidence, and those are the layups that the Patriots are giving Mac Jones and the Bears are giving Justin Fields. He could use some of that. If he's not in a rhythm early on against the Raiders, they should go to that. And they used to always give that stuff to C.J. Beathard in preseason for the same reason.
Absolutely. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's our stock report. We did it all. That was a good show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I liked everything you had to say. It was very interesting. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, everyone, for watching who was respectful. And the people I had to block, you got blocked. See you never. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll be back again in about an hour and a half with Jack Hammer talking about the San Francisco 49ers. It's going to be really groundbreaking stuff you have never heard before. So stay tuned. But Sybilla,
Can't wait for it. Have a good set, and I'm sure Jack always brings the heat, so I'm sure he will bring us some stuff we've never heard before.
Absolutely. No question.
All right,
guys. See you in a little bit.
Have a good one.